Hey everyone, it's time for another edition of the Mia Connect on Air. I'm your host, Mia Voss, and this week we have an amazing guest, Dafna Michaelson Jenet, another mouthful. I love that name. Welcome to the show, darling.
Thank you. I love the applause. Love it.
Right? I love this one too. Also my favorite, the sound of money. All right, Dafna, I met you. I had heard about you a couple years ago when a friend of mine told me about 50 and 52, the 50 and 52 journey, which is amazing. Can you tell our listeners about that?
Yeah, kind of in a nutshell. I guess I freaked out, quit my job in 2008, single mom, mortgage, tuition payments, you know, the whole 9 yards, all these lovely responsibilities. And I kind of, as you would say, bat crap crazy over the fact that, you know, we were starting to slump as a society economically. And I was seeing lots of people who I thought were powerful people who were feeling like somebody else needs to solve the problems around here. And I was like, wait a minute, no. Problem solving at home is all about us at home in community. And I felt like if I quit my job and traveled to all 50 states to interview people who were solving problems in their community, that I could inspire other people into action and give back a little bit of the control to understand that somebody else isn't responsible for solving our problems. We ourselves can handle the problem solving.
I love that because that in your description for it, it says searching for community problem solvers. And I mean, what a great vision to come up with and then take it on the road. Literally 50 and 52 is amazing.
That's right. So we did 50 states in the 52 weeks of 2009, one state each week for 52 weeks. I would drop my kids off at school Wednesday morning, go to the airport, hop in a plane, land somewhere, get in a rental car, do about 800 miles, interview about 10 people, and be back at pickup line Friday afternoon to pick up my kids. So,
oh my God. That is bat crap crazy. I love it. Yeah. But in a really, really good way, which most of them are. Now, where can people go and see that journey? Was that a video log that you did? Was that a blog? Or where can we go and find that information? Because yes. I mean, even though it's 2009, it's still so relevant, all the information you picked up.
Absolutely, and it's interesting that you say about the relevance because I was just having this conversation with my husband/business partner because every meal can be a business expense when you're married to your business partner.
Yeah.
We were discussing, you know, the relevance as I put the finishing touches on my book about the journey, and what we understand is that what we experienced was timeless. It's about human motivation, and it's not about timeline. So if you're interested in seeing how people solve community problems, you can go to 50 in 52 Journey. That's 50in52journey.com. And there are 375 videos of the 500 people that I met. I also blogged every day. I'm compiling that into an ebook for anybody who wants to be able to read it chronologically. It's about 375 pages long because I blogged 3 times a week. And the people that I met were unbelievable. And my book that I'm working on, the working title is called What's in It for Me, because the thing that we learned, the biggest takeaway, was that in order to solve a problem in your community, the first step is with you and something that's bothering you. And what's in it for you is that you stood up and fixed it, and you fixed that problem for yourself and said, you know what, I'm going to get that problem for you as well, and your life is better. So, hey, let's all answer the question, what's in it for me?
I love it. I love the think globally, act locally mantra. For sure.
Absolutely.
That you could make the change. It's so easy to gripe about it, and we've all done it, but that when you get out there and really make the change, it's an amazing thing. So I love that. And then your other fabulous thing, you're kind of, I would call it the curator for TEDxCrestmoor Park. Tell me about that.
Curator is actually the legitimate term. When you get a TEDx license, you become the curator of that TEDx event. So to date, we've curated a handful of events, TEDxCrestmoor Park and TEDxCrestmoor Park Women. I love the women's events because a little bit about how TEDxCrestmoor Park came to existence was there was another fabulous local big TEDx event that only had a handful of women, and it didn't focus on local. And a real big concern for me is that we have incredible local talent, female and otherwise, and we all need to have the opportunity to be on that platform and have our voice heard. So TEDxCrestmoor Park was born. I was told very specifically by the TEDx organizers at TED.com, you know, the big TED, that we couldn't have only a women's event. So we had a full-on TEDx event, and that was in September of 2010. And like a month later, they announced this new TEDx Women whole community. I'm like, wait a minute, that's what we wanted in the first place.
That was your "I told you so" moment, right?
That's right. So we threw a second TEDx event 3 months after the first. So a significant amount of money from the Journey Institute, which is the organization my husband and I started after traveling to all 50 states, after I traveled to all 50 states. So the Journey Institute invested in TEDxCrestmoor Park and TEDxCrestmoor Park Women because we believe that once you complain about a problem, you're obligated to work on the solution. And we had complained that the TEDx events locally weren't giving enough attention to local presenters. And we have had a blast. And the women that have presented at both TEDxCrestmoor Park Women events, women and men, had powerful stories, powerful ideas, and our subtext is elevate, empower, engage. Every event that we create has to meet those 3 criteria. I'm going to elevate you to the role of community problem solver wherever you want that to be in your life. I'm going to empower you with the understanding and the tools, and I'm going to engage you by connecting you to other people who can help you meet those goals. So that's what we do in all of our work, but specifically in our TEDx events.
And that's, I went to, I've had 2 guests on the show that I met at your TEDx event last year because I was just so blown away with the presenters. I have had Shauna Coronado and Cassandra Perkins on too, so thank you for that.
Yes, I'm happy to feed you with other fabulous females that you should have on your show, so you just let me know when you're feeling a little low, and I'll give you a list that's a mile long. Yeah,
I have a big girl crush list for you.
Yeah.
I have a lot of them, and then I do the big heart thing. I will say, but going back to what you were just saying, it kind of reminds me of when we were kids. You touched it last. Like that's kind of the premise of being the community problem solver. Hey, you touched it last. Why don't you, go ahead and jump in? So talk about empowering people to make the change and start within. It starts from you and then goes out from there.
Absolutely.
Good. All right, so let's segue into, one of the questions I usually ask all my interviewers is how you capitalize or how you use social media for your business. Social media is your business, so tell me about what you do. And I know you've done a couple of Google Hangouts and you put them online too, so tell us about that.
Well, social media is a really big part of my business because I believe that all successful businesses and organizations are successful because they have learned the art of storytelling. And utilizing social media for storytelling, like you have done so successfully, is really a way that you can build an engaged relationship with your audience. Social media, the big mistake that many people make is they think it's a megaphone, a one-way, please listen to me all the time. And that's not what it's about, right? Exactly. You hear the do sound on your little sound tool?
No, I need to find one.
Yeah, you do. But that's not what social media is. Social media is this incredible set of tools for creating engagement and providing value and elevating each other. One of the things that I teach all of my clients and with all of the classes that I teach, and you and I spoke about this, is there's no such thing as competition. There's only opportunity for collaboration. So while you and I do a very similar first step with our clients, that doesn't mean that I don't send clients to you and you don't send clients to me. We both know that there are different people that we can work with the best.
Yes, I always, and I use the analogy of bartenders. Every bartender has a different recipe for their cosmopolitan. So
that's exactly right.
We all have a different style for it too. So it depends on your style. And I love you can be a niche person as well and say I'm going to just work with realtors. I'm going to work with musicians, things like that, and really nail it down too. So I agree. Collaboration is the new competition. Is one of my favorite phrases.
I love that. I like that too. I'm going to steal that. I will, and I'll give you credit, of course. But for me, when I work with my clients, especially around social media, it's about training them to understand how they best can maximize the tools, do it themselves, and craft their story in an authentic, manageable way. And I have found for small business owners and entrepreneurs in particular, especially when you're in that bootstrapping stage, and we've all been there. There are two kinds of people in the world, people who've bootstrapped and those who lie about it.
I'm going to steal that one. I'm taking that one too.
How they can maximize that to create the engagement they need so that they have the relationships that are waiting for them when the time is right.
I use the phrase, I teach them to fish. And I know that's what you do too. And it really, and I think what's great too is to teach people how to get their message and their story out. I know for myself with Crave Denver, when I help a lot of the women get their message out, it's like, okay, you need to believe what it is that what do you stand for? What's your big why? Why are you doing this? And if you can really nail that down and get it out, I mean, that talk about being authentic in your business.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Hey. All right. So it's time for the bat crap crazy moment. Who, what, and why, or whatever are you bat crap crazy about?
There are so many things that I'm bat crap crazy about. Would it be too cliche to say that I am super bat crap crazy about my husband? I have to say, and we've been married 2 years. In March we celebrated our 2nd anniversary, and so I guess we are like still newlyweds-ish. But I have to tell you that there is nothing that I have done recently that I could have done without his support, him being a sounding board, his technical expertise and knowledge, and to have found a partner who can be so much more beyond the bedroom has been such an unbelievable gift for me. I've been talking about Lean In, Sheryl Sandberg's book, which I haven't read yet, but I work with a woman in Fort Collins who said the most important part of that book for her was where she talks about having that support unit in your spouse. And this woman in particular works with girls and boys in Cambodia, and she says, if I don't educate the boys at the same level that I'm educating the girls, they won't have access to a crop of spouses that can help support them in their growth and in their missions. And she's so right. So as and I am 100% girl crazy. Most of the work that I do is around women, with women, by women. I believe in the power of women. We do need to spend as much time on our amazing boys so that we have the sources for great partners. And I hit the lottery with the partner. What a great way to put that. And let me just say, somebody's going to get some tonight. Yeah, I hope so. Talking to you about the bat crap crazy moment. I love it. Tell us what your husband's name is so we can know who you're talking about. What is it? Michael Jenet. I love it. I said Jeanette, and I apologize, honey. I like putting that hard T at the end of it. I know, whatever. He's French-Belgian. Oh, fancy. Yeah, I know. Well, listen, thank you so much for being on the show. And again, thank you for all the wonderful women that you've introduced me to with TEDx. I just can't say how much I admire you for what you've done. Thank you so much. And it's a mutual fan society. I love your work, and I'm so honored to be on your show. Here's my little card for you. And listen, everybody out there, we're going to be listing everything that Dafna's talked about today, too. So all the websites, all the different topics that she's brought up, that'll all be listed so you'll know where to go. So thanks again for being on the show. Thank you. Yay, and thank you. And everybody go do this. Make it a great day. Bye. What a great vision to come up with and then take it on the road. Literally 50 and 52 is amazing. That's right. So we did 50 states in the 52 weeks of 2009, one state each week for 52 weeks. I would drop my kids off at school Wednesday morning, go to the airport, hop in a plane, land somewhere, get in a rental car, do about 800 miles, interview about 10 people, and be back at pickup line Friday afternoon to pick up my kids. So, lovely responsibilities. And I kind of, as you would say, bat crap crazy over the fact that, we were starting to slump as a society economically. And I was seeing lots of people who I thought were powerful people who were feeling like somebody else needs to solve the problems around here. And I was like, wait a minute, no. Problem solving at home is all about us at home in community. And I felt like if I quit my job and traveled to all 50 states to interview people who were solving problems in their community, that I could inspire other people into action and give back a little bit of the control to understand that somebody else isn't responsible for solving our problems. We ourselves can handle the problem solving.
I love that, because that in your description for it, it says searching for community problem solvers. And I mean, hey everyone, it's time for another edition of the Mia Connect on Air. I'm your host, Mia Voss, and this week we have an amazing guest, Dafna Michaelson Jenet, another mouthful. I love that name. Welcome to the show, darling.
Thank you, thank you. I love the applause, love it.
Right? I love this one too. Also my favorite, the sound of money. All right, Dafna, I met you. I had heard about you a couple years ago when a friend of mine told me about 50 and 52, the 50 and 52 journey, which is amazing. Can you tell our listeners about that?
Yeah, kind of in a nutshell. I guess I freaked out, quit my job in 2008, single mom, mortgage, tuition payments, you know, the whole 9 yards, all these